We are officially in countdown to eclipse season. Granted, our eclipses are not until March. However, the way that I count eclipse season is that the new moon that rules over where the full moon eclipse is going to be, that's where it starts. Because if you're looking at the moon cycles, the full moon is always going to have to do with the new moon that comes before it. And this year, that new moon in Pisces is on February 28th. And the North Node and Neptune rules Pisces, and North Node rules the eclipses. North Node and Neptune are going to be basically conjunct. So, okay, it's time to clock in. It's time to lock in. There's several different ways that this new moon in Pisces on February 28th, which for anyone who cares about the exactness of things, the time is going to be 00:45, so midnight 45 UTC on February 28th. There's a couple different ways to read this new moon. One of the ways is that there's an order that's going to be set up on this new moon that will probably rule over kind of the next couple of years. Lunar nodes, they take about 1.5 years to shift, but we are going to have another eclipse in Pisces in August of 2026 after the lunar nodes have switched over into Aquarius and Leo. Really big picture, I know. And also, this upcoming new moon that is in Pisces on February 28th, it opens the gates. Hello, we have arrived. It's like we're walking into this mansion, okay? What you decide to do in that mansion at this party or gathering, space, place, time, however, that's going to determine kind of what the next couple of years are going to look like. So open your ears. And what are you doing with your peers, with your people? That's also going to let you know what's going on, because Saturn is one of the rulers of Aquarius, and right now Pluto is in Aquarius, which has to do with our social groups and our social settings. Saturn being in Pisces is like spiritually, how are you aligned with others? And not just how are you aligned with others, but what are you participating in? What are you practicing with those other people? And how are those purposes of practice with other people, whether they be technically spiritual or not? How is that looking to elevate you in your personal life and within the transitions that you're making? Be so specific. Love you, Saturn, and be so specific. Okay. The other thing we have going on here is that Mercury is going to be in Pisces for this new moon on February 28th. And our South Node just moved into Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Yep. So it's kind of a weird crossover because Mercury is going to be less than 5 degrees away from the North Node in Pisces, but the South Node is in Virgo where Mercury is ruling over. So we have this really big picture of North Node is our spiritual purpose high up in the sky, okay? We're getting a large elevation. We have to work kind of blindly and just trust in ourselves and trust in our spirit and our practice, all that good stuff. The South Node is about what's really good on the earth. What are we really skilled at already? When the South Node passes through a sign, we're usually developing those skills more easily and asked to ground more of those skills here on the earth. So while grounding for this new moon in Pisces that's coming up on February 28th, while grounding those skills of Virgo, so food, information integration, body information integration, earth information integration, indirect communication, body language, the way that people dress and what that says about things, really any kind of communication that is not going to be like me telling words to you or speaking words to you. Mercury is going to be combining the spiritual purpose and transitions and elevation with the North Node to make sure that our skills of Virgo are grounded and they're basically like bound up together with the way that we're speaking and talking. Okay, Mercury, you little schemy planet. I feel like Mercury is when a kid goes to mom and mom is like, you gotta ask your dad, and then the kid goes to dad and dad is like, you gotta ask your mom. You know when that happened? Okay, so if the North Node and the South Node are mom and dad or parent and parent, however you would structure that, okay? Because every family dynamic is different. And I wouldn't even really technically assign the North Node or the South Node to mom or dad specifically. Anyways, okay. Mercury is in between them being like, well, mom said this and dad said this. Mercury is helping us to transition into what it is that we are actually asking for. And Pisces is the oldest, wisest trickster. So you really got to be discerning of your words, okay? Because being in Pisces, it also means that we're going to be spiritually activating something. For you, don't know what that is specifically, but something. That's what I'm saying. This is like a schemy little placement. Mercury is like, we're going to bring together the family. And Mercury is probably going to do what's necessary to make sure that that is going to happen. Oftentimes also with Mercury in Pisces and then all these other placements that we have in Pisces, for me on a personal level, when this sort of placement shows up, I'm getting tricked into something for my betterment. I'm getting tricked into doing something so that I can advance in a skill or earn something that I've asked to earn and don't really know how to do that any other way. When Pisces shows up, and this is for me on a personal level, when Pisces shows up for me on a personal level, I'm for sure getting tricked into something so that I can get what I asked for. Super duper. It's like one of my least favorite things, but it's also very valuable, okay? So however it is that you interact with Pisces energy, discern for yourself. Looks like I might be playing a game or two. Okay, that's just what it is. But that new moon, is there anything else in this? Neptune's going to be in like a big maturity. Really look at your transitions in your life. What do you want over the next 1.5 to 2 years? How are you going to get there? What are you willing to do to get there? What is it that you're really like processing? I also heard the word procuring, like to procure something. The cure of something. Okay, so to cure, the professional curing of something also, not just the procurement of like receiving something, but like to cure something professionally. Interesting. Pisces is really healing in that sense. It's like it offers you what you need in the transition so that you can start over and start again. So if there's anything that's blocking you from starting over and starting in again in certain areas, then also looking at those things will be helpful. And I'll say it again, how are you connected to your social groups? And how are those internal sort of transitions and spiritual practices, how are they connected to your social groups? If you wanted some main things to focus on for this new moon, the transitions you're making in your life and how you want to make them and what you're willing to do for them, because sometimes we have to be specific about that with Pisces, that's true. And any advancement or energy that you want to focus on. You may not necessarily call it an advancement. I don't know that there's a way to elevate those words. So energy you would want to focus on in your spiritual practices. Any practices that you want to earning. That sounds like a good one. The cat meowed also, so we have agreement there. Thank you, cat. Love you. What do you want to earn in the spirit over the next couple of years? So transitions, and then what do you want to earn in the spirit? Look at where your Pisces is in your chart, the house that Pisces in, and your Neptune. That's going to help you understand kind of what you're already working with. We're going to talk about the eclipses in another video, okay? This is just like the foundational energy for the eclipse season that's coming up. I am going to be doing extra special, super duper episodes. It's ridiculous. On the podcast, if you're interested in getting those updates. I am not sure yet if I'm going to do one for each of the eclipses or if I'm going to put them together and just do the special episode as one thing. But there is going to be special, either one episode or two coming out about the eclipses. I might do one and put them both together. I don't know yet. Okay, my creativity has not created fully, but it will be. So if you're interested in that full, it'll be probably like an hour-long update. That's usually how long my episodes over there are. You can sign up to get emails on the blog. That's where my podcast gets kind of like blasted out, zoomed out to people. Or you can go follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I'm also on Amazon. And then my YouTube. Those are the 4 places my podcast goes to. And there's links on the website, so me and him will come with some updates later about it. I don't know what he's doing, but trying to get on the top shelf is what is really going on. Yeah. Sometimes he pops into the episodes. He just wanted to come say hi. Sometimes he does that. Sometimes he comes over and he's like, "What's going on, Mom?" Anyways, that's the update. Cool. I think it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to those special episodes as well. As we close out this moon cycle that was ruled by the new moon in Aquarius, we're headed into eclipse season, so prepare as reasonably you need to as you receive that. I love ya. Gratitude, reverence, and love to ya, and the spirits of love, truth, and free. And I'll talk to you soon. I think that's what I need to see about this. So it's almost eclipse season.